Sheri Keffer here, and it's great to be with you all today. I thought it would be great to talk about how to ask for what you need. And I don't know why it's so hard for many of us to actually figure out what we need and then ask for it. But I'm going to be doing a series on that today, and hopefully, something that I share might make sense to you enough that you can begin to make some changes. So, the first part of this is, why is it difficult to say no? It's like when we were 2 years old, we had no problem saying no, right? Or if you have a 2 year old, it just comes out of their mouth. No, no, no. And yet, when we're in a situation that's really difficult and we're having to stand up for ourselves, it's as if we never learned the word in the first place. And so, in essence, what we're looking at is boundaries and how to put a defining line down, and then how to ask for what you need. But why is this little word, NO, so difficult for most of us? And so I'm going to look at some boulders that often get in the way. And I would call these blocking beliefs. These are things that you might think, believe, kind of have hidden in your heart, and you don't even know that they're stopping you from actually saying no. So the first one that often comes up is when you think about the person you need to ask something of, you're already making a decision. You're already thinking that that other person's going to say no. And so it's like we don't even get out of the start gate. If I believe that this other person's going to say no, then why try, right? And so I often say the first step is to think about what you need and what you want. Now, it can feel really selfish to say, what do I need? And what do I want in this situation? But oftentimes it may not be selfish because we're not coming as a demand, like you better give this to me or else, right? It's more of, I need this because it's going to benefit somehow. It might even be an area of self-care. And in many situations, in my book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal, I wrote a chapter called No as a Complete Sentence. It's actually self-preservation. Maybe you have a husband who is looking at pornography, and there's a boundary you need to put down because you need to figure out who's responsible for the problem. And so the first thing we often need to look at is, who's the owner of the problem? Now, sometimes it feels like us that we're the owner, but actually, if they're the one that's looking at porn, they're the owner of it at that point. The second thing we need to ask is, who's in control of that problem? Again, sometimes it feels like we're in control, but actually we're not. The other person is in control of whether they're acting out or not. But we have to figure out what I can make choices about. And then the third thing we need to look at is, who's responsible to fix the problem, right? Again, it goes back to ownership. And so figuring out that, and then deciding what you need in light of that, is really important. And so when you wonder about what I need, I often ask people to say, well, what's the benefit to you? And is this need something that's worth fighting for? How is this need going to change you? How might it change the situation? How might it change your relationship? Is it worth fighting for? If you can think about those things, and maybe even what you need in order for it to get done, then that helps you define the reason to ask. This series is going to be looking at what it takes to intentionally ask for what you need. So stay tuned. There's more to come. And give us a call at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.